Oh, Clark Smith, wonderful.
Craig.
Are everybody in?
Good evening, everybody.
Yep.
Hello.
Yep.
Good evening.
Woo!
Good evening. Happy Wednesday from New Hampshire.
Yeah, interrupted fall festival.
Yeah, right. Welcome to Virtual Fall Festival. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. It's 1 or 2 minutes after 6, and we obviously want to be sensitive to people's time. It's it's just about dinner time, so I'll get us started. Hello and welcome to NEC's 2020 Virtual Fall Festival. My name is Bill Deptula. I'm the Vice President for Advancement at NEC. I see a few familiar faces, but some new faces that I don't know. I've been at NEC since the middle of January, and I joined a really good and talented team of advancement professionals in the alumni relations, in the development and advancement services areas. And so we, on behalf of all of us, we're so grateful that you've joined us tonight for the annual Alumni Association meeting. I do need to make a quick public service announcement that this is being recorded. So we will preserve it for posterity, which means, Lou, you need to behave yourself. And it'll be available for viewing for folks who obviously aren't able to join us live tonight. We do have a pretty healthy agenda for our time together tonight. We'll hear from Dr. Michelle Perkins in just a moment, and we'll also hear from Lou Pakula, who is the president of the NEC Alumni Association. And I'd like to introduce as well Lorella Volpe. She is our super talented Director of Alumni Relations. She's going to talk with us a little bit about some of the activities that we tried to do last year, and some of the virtual events we anticipate doing this year. And we'll introduce as well Lindsay Coates, who's our Senior Associate Director of Career and Life Planning. We have some exciting news to share about CLP and its relationship with advancement, which we'll get to later. And then I will just share a little bit of information with folks on how we finished the year on the fundraising side and what our goals and objectives are in the new fiscal year. So with that as our sort of introduction, it's my very great pleasure to introduce Dr. Michelle Perkins, president of New England College. She is in her 14th, is that right? Or finishing her 14th, I forget.
Finishing my 13th.
Finishing her 13th year. But who's counting? Exactly right. And many of you may already know Michelle, but we're so grateful that she was able to join us tonight. She's going to give us a brief college update, and then she is going to be on her way. She has a couple of other appointments, I think, this evening. So Dr. Perkins, take it away.
Well, thank you, Bill. And yes, happy kickoff meeting for Fall Festival, virtual Fall Festival this year. But I'm pleased that we are not daunted by the situation we find ourselves in with COVID-19. We've all adapted to virtual meetings awfully well. We use Zoom a lot. I know there's other products, and I joked with some colleagues the other day that I said, I think I dream in Zoom now because it's so much a part of our day. But isn't it interesting how we adjust and adapt to these new modalities, and after a while it starts to feel almost normal, almost. But anyway, thank you, Bill, and advancement team. I think we have 4 on the meeting call tonight: Lorella, Lindsay, and Greg, in addition to Bill. And just want to say thanks and congratulations to this excellent team. Yes, Bill joined us in January, and he really hit the ground running and has done a superb job along with his team. And we are really blessed to have such talent and dedication in the advancement staff and in the leadership in the advancement staff. So thank you, Bill. And I also want to give a special thanks to Lou Pakula, who has headed our alumni organization and has been a joy to work with for all these years in many capacities, but particularly in this role. I think you really epitomize all the best of the NEC alumni, Lou. You are talented, successful, and also a great conversationalist and fun-loving. So that makes you perfect for this role. And we appreciate your optimism and your energy. And of course, it's a delight to welcome not only an alumnus, but a trustee in Clark Smith, who, how long have you been on the board, Clark? Has it been 2, 3 years?
2 years.
3 years, wow, time flies. And we're most fortunate to have him on our board of trustees. And about half of our board are alumni, and that's really great. It's really great to have alums participate from a range of class years. And of course, the passion and the energy they bring to the table is very important as well. So, and I'm honored to work with that group. Bill has asked me to give a little state of the college summary. I won't keep you long. And as he said, I'll stay in a few minutes after I finish, and maybe if there's questions, especially. But we'll leave you to the rest of your meeting. Bill asked me to talk about the health of the college, and I think he meant that in every way you could mean that word, both literally and figuratively. And I'm here to say I'm very pleased that our institution is in good health. And in fact, had we not been in such a good place when COVID happened, I think we would be losing a lot more sleep these days. Certainly, I won't try to undercut the situation. It's a very severe problem that the nation and the world are having. But New England College has done a great job managing this crisis and is in good shape and ready to meet the future and to get back to normal, whatever that new normal is, once COVID has passed us. And again, I can't say how proud I am and how really moved I've been to see the dedication of our staff and our faculty as we have prepared our campus, as we dealt with the crisis when it first hit, and as we have opened our campus this fall for traditional students to study in person, which we believe is very important. So yes, we started to really talk about COVID every single hour of our lives back in March. And we went to the online or virtual mode in mid-March, and then a few weeks later sent students home and allowed a certain group to stay on campus if they wanted to. We had students from hotspots who believed, and we believed them because we knew where they were from, that it would be better for them to stay on campus. And we ended up with a handful of students until the end of the year. We spent the rest of that time all summer preparing for an on-campus experience. And it took a lot of work because we knew we had to distance students. We had to purchase a lot of equipment and tools to help us manage this. And so we spent a considerable amount of time planning for and acquiring things like masks and protective equipment to make signs for in one way and out another way. We have kiosks that will take temperature with face recognition that take your temperature at the door. Every student and staff and faculty member has a thermometer that we request that they take their temperatures twice a day. We distance students in the classroom and in the dining hall. And of course we test, and I think we've tested 4 times so far. We have had positive cases. I think a total since we started testing of 13. Actually, only of those cases, only one of those students has been quarantined and sick, as in quarantining because they're sick. The vast majority of those cases, almost all, were asymptomatic, which is good news because no one was sick. But bad news in the sense that you're carrying this virus around and don't know it, which is when we realized we really needed to test more frequently. And in fact, we are acquiring the fast test apparatus and the kits for that. And we'll be testing, especially with our athletes, should we have a spring season, which I'll talk about, at least twice a week at that point. So we've learned a lot about all of this, and we have had a few, the behavior's been really, really admirable among our students. We have had a few slips, a few parties, as you can imagine. It is somewhat, the temptation has been great, especially since we haven't had a real problem with COVID here in Henniker and New Hampshire. Those students have been properly admonished, and then of course, if anyone is exposed to anyone who tested positive, we have to quarantine them as well. And there's another space we use for that. We have 50 spaces for quarantine on campus, and we've only had to use a handful since we opened. So that's good news. To pay for all this, which was many millions of dollars, we were happy, which helped with last year, to get stimulus dollars, to get a PPP loan, which will be forgiven, and that was for several $million. And most recently, we got $1.9 million from the governor of New Hampshire through the CARES Act to support our COVID prevention activities. And that has helped us out tremendously. So we did have fewer students than we thought, than we normally have on campus this fall. We knew that it would be, that number would be lower. And we planned for that, and we planned our budget accordingly. So we did trim the budget, and we have done other things like have our faculty and staff, of course myself, take a salary cut. But we have that discipline, and I am very pleased that and proud of everyone who has made that sacrifice. The people at the lower end of the pay scale were not required to take a cut. And so as a result, we will have a balanced budget at the end of this year. That said, with an asterisk, that's assuming the spring semester and the rest of the fiscal year will be as successful as we've been so far. And we're over halfway through the semester. So far, so good, but we're not popping champagne yet. And we certainly are aware of just how things can turn in this very unpredictable environment. I like to say the only certainty we have right now is uncertainty. That said, Bill and I were just traveling this last week. I went to Boston and then met Bill, and we went to Rhode Island, and we visited a number of donors and alumni, and one trustee actually, and it was a very successful visit. And so even though we wear masks and we have to distance and there's all kinds of protocol and the new COVID etiquette, you can meet with people in an in-person basis, not in large groups. So that was very successful. So as I mentioned, our enrollment for traditional students is where we thought it would be. Actually, our retention for returning students increased significantly, which was great due to the excellent work of our staff and faculty. We're already receiving our applications for next fall, and I'm happy to say that we're ahead of where we were last year at this time. We were enrolling record-sized incoming classes for 3 years in a row, and I'm not this year. It was a little lighter, but I'm confident that next year we'll be back on track. As you know, we completed a merger with the New Hampshire Institute of Art. That has gone very well. That's completed, and we're happy to have space in Manchester. And we've done other interesting things with academic programs. So we've really enlarged our computer information systems master's program. I think we have over 1,000 students in that now. And we've even started teaching now remotely, but when we can return to in-person, we will do so with Dallas County Community Colleges and several programs there, which is very entrepreneurial and promises to be very successul. There's no athletic season this year for us or just about anybody else. We are talking with other colleges in the state who test as often as we do to see if we can have some in-state play. We might be able to do that even this semester. Winter and spring seasons are possible, but again, it's a stay tuned situation. So we're hoping that we can see some maybe hockey and lacrosse, who knows? But we certainly will do what we can, but also make sure that we can be safe. In terms of fundraising, I'm proud to report that we completed the Bridge to the Future first ever capital campaign, where we hoped we would be able to raise $20 million, and we closed that campaign at $42 million. It's a remarkable achievement. And the gifts went to all kinds of projects, some academic. For instance, we have a 7-figure gift to support online learning, but many of them to bricks and mortar. So we have the beautiful new Putnam Theater that has yet to be reused, but it's not going anywhere. And of course, the beautiful John Lyons Center. This does not include 2 significant 7-figure gifts to support the construction and renovation of the new athletic center. And we will, in short order, be announcing a mini campaign, we think, to complete the funding for that. So stay tuned. We're hopeful that we'll be able to actually start that project maybe this spring. We can't make a promise at this point. We have some more fundraising to do. And one of the things we don't want to do is take on additional debt at this point. So we'll hope you wish us luck and participate in our fundraising activities. That's just a snapshot of where we are. Again, I'm sorry we couldn't have a wonderful in-person on-campus event, but I'm hopeful that next year we will. As much has changed at the institution in the years that I've been president and since you've been students, but many things haven't changed, and that is our mission and our dedication to a well-rounded, solid liberal arts education, no matter what your major is. That is really the foundation of our institution that will help make us strong now and for years to come. So with that, if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to provide you with some answers.
Michelle, did our athletes that can't play, did they return to campus though for this semester?
Yes. We had a few that didn't come back, that took a pause. But really, pretty much everyone came back, and athlete retention is always very high. I think, well, of course, they will have another season if you're a fall athlete. Anyone wants to pursue a master's program, we're happy to help them out so they can have a fall season. And plus, frankly, there really wasn't anywhere else to go. So we appreciate their return, and hopefully we can have another fall season for them.
Well, thank you, Dr. Perkins, for that update on the college. We're very grateful for the time you were able to spend with us this evening. I hope all of you have as much confidence now in the future of NEC as certainly the senior administration does. We are going to weather the COVID storm, I think, quite well. And when you look at other institutions of our size and scope and scale, Dr. Perkins' leadership and the leadership of the board and the senior team, I think, has positioned us well for long-term future success. So thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. And I know you've got other things you need to move on to. So we will bid you a good evening, and we will move on to our agenda, the remainder of our agenda. Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Have a good meeting.
Bye. So now it's my very great pleasure to reintroduce, I guess, Lorella Volpe, who is our Director of Alumni Relations, and she will walk us through some of the activities that we had intended to engage in the spring and still have plans for this coming year. Lorella, take it away.
Hello, everybody. I'm Lorella Volpe, as he had mentioned. So just to give you guys a couple updates on alumni relations, of course, this year is very different than any other year. I'm sure everyone's seeing that at every organization right now. But unfortunately, we did have to cancel quite a few of our in-person events that were supposed to happen this spring and summer, and then also into this fall. At this point, as of right now, because of the uncertainty, we're not planning any in-person events in the immediate future. What we're going to do is kind of see how things play out, especially with regional events in different areas, and see if there is possibility in the future, but we're not sure as of right now. So we are looking into opportunities on engaging with alumni through social media and through virtual events, such as what we're doing over the next 2 weeks. But some of the other things we have been working on behind the scenes is we have been revamping some of our volunteer opportunities that alumni have with the college here. And we will get a little bit more into it, but we have enhanced some of our opportunities with our career and life planning office. And there's a lot of great things in the works with them, and it's very exciting. And I think it's something that alumni have been wanting and looking for quite a while. So we're going to be having much more opportunities for both alumni and students to engage in a career-focused manner. In addition, we also have admissions volunteers. This past year, we had about 50 admissions volunteers that helped out, whether making phone calls or meeting with prospective students. Of course, this year is a little bit different. And as Michelle had mentioned earlier, we acquired New Hampshire Institute of Art, NHIA for short. Their alumni, we did recently survey their alumni, and we're actively engaging them as part of our community and family here. And we have been reaching out to see what kind of activities they would like to see to keep engaging with NEC. And we have 36 of them who would like to volunteer in some capacity, either with NEC as a whole or with the Institute of Art and Design down in Manchester. So that's kind of exciting too. It's a little bit different for us, but it's a new adventure that we'll be looking into. And Lindsay here also worked at the New Hampshire Institute of Art for years, so she has a lot of knowledge on their alumni base, and she knows a lot of them personally, which is helpful as well. The other announcement that I'd like to make too, I think many of you may know that this year in 2021 is the 75th anniversary of New England College. And it's something that we're very excited about. We have a lot of history to share and a lot of stories and a lot of alumni. And so with that, we just sent out the new magazine. The NEC magazine dropped earlier this week, so should be landing in mailboxes at some point soon for everybody. And the theme of the magazine is the 75th anniversary. So we have quite a few articles in there about then and now. We've interviewed one of our oldest living alumni. We have some athletics pieces in there, quite a few, a timeline of the history of the college and of what happened while the college was around in everywhere else. But yes, that's a very exciting magazine. It's been newly designed. And so if you don't get a copy, it'll be available online as well, or let us know and we can update your address and send you a magazine. An update as well, we did an alumni engagement survey last year. As many of you may know, if you had taken it, we had about 600 responses to the survey, which is very exciting. It's a lot of responses, but we got a lot of great feedback. And we had started making progress and making changes based on some of our results of the survey. However, COVID did throw us a little bit for a loop, so some of the planning had to kind of stop. But we look forward to getting back with it again soon. But we have a lot of great feedback. It's great to hear back from all of the alumni to hear what they'd like to see us do moving forward. And in terms of events for us, as I had mentioned before, we'll be trying to out new virtual events, but this year with the 75th anniversary, we're going to try to work on having more historical events or historical talks or tours to go along with that theme. So a lot of items coming up in the next semester or so will have the 75th theme throughout. Other than that, we're looking at other opportunities, but again, COVID is kind of throwing us a little bit for a loop, so we'll kind of see as things go and as they play out, but we're going to try to do the best we can for the health and safety of our alumni and our entire community. But if you have any great ideas, if you'd like to engage with our office, feel free to send either me an email or contact us at alumni@nec.edu, and we'd be happy to work with you. That's it from me.
Thanks, Florella. Yeah, unfortunately, the current climate doesn't really allow us many in-person meetings, but like a lot of colleges and universities, I think we have adapted pretty well. I think this is our second, right? Second virtual event. The first one was right at the end of the summer. There was a college update featuring Dr. Perkins and Dave DeCue, our athletic director, and Dr. Wayne Lesperance, our VP for academic affairs. And I think we had probably 25 or 30 people on that call. And so we're going to continue to do this, and we'll continue to get better at engaging virtually until we have the opportunity to be together in person again. We'd like to think that next spring we'll have an opportunity. It might be later in the spring. Commencement, by the way, is still right now, as of right now, is still planned for the weekend of May 8th and 9th, I believe. And unless things change for the worse, I think we're still on track for that. It will depend, of course, on guidelines both from the Center for Disease Control as well as the state of New Hampshire, public health officials, and so on and so forth. But that's not news to anyone, probably. So now it's an opportunity to hear from our alumni, our distinguished Alumni Association President, Lou Pikula. Lou, I really appreciate you being with us today. And to the extent that you have information and news to share with us, we would love to hear from you this evening.
I wish that this has been some time going through this virus. Just watching people try to readjust and makeshift and communicate, and then still get criticized for not doing it the correct way. It's amazing. But I think what Luella's office and your office have done, and what what you have been able to hold on to and communicating with the alumni, I think is amazing. And it's just enough credit doesn't go out to what you all do. This is not my style. My style is to get out and say hello to people. The communication through the computer is not my strong point, but staying in touch with Luella, and even today I was talking to her and I said, Luella, aren't there times you sit there and you just go, "What? I think I'll just stay home. I don't know what I'm going to do." I mean, where's the motivation? And sometimes we get frustrated because you think there'd be more people involved, and the list is big. And then when it comes time that they're not there, but when you talk to them and you get a chance to talk to people, they're very interested in the school, and you can see by their actions of being involved by giving. So I think we're making headway, but I'll take no credit for that. I'm just trying to give some positive spin on some things that people are doing some really good work. And my good friend Paul that I just had played golf with him last week. He was nice enough to babysit me around the golf course. So it was very nice. So, and then this past weekend, I got a chance to play with these hockey guys from the 80s, 90s, and there were some from 2017 and 18. It was a total of about 56 people from New England College. And I sent the picture to Luella, and it's amazing how they're so engaged but disengaged, if you understand what I'm saying. So there's opportunities out there. So we're making headway, and but I really want to say thank you to everything the school's doing, because Luella's office is now giving us a place to go to and to start bouncing ideas off of. And she's got some great ideas. And when we can get out of this COVID-19, we're going to be running, not walking. So thank you for everybody, and thank you for that nice introduction. I really like to thank Michelle Perkins. That was really nice. I wrote that down so I could keep that and put that on my tombstone. But anyway, thank you, everybody, and everybody's here. It's really nice, and it means a lot to New England College.
Thank you, Lou. I want to hear more about that golf outing, but we won't use more airtime on this call than is necessary. But I have a feeling that a good time was had by all.
It was good. Good time with Paul. It's good time with the other people. It was great.
Excellent.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Well, so moving along in our agenda, so we have some exciting news to share from the Office of Advancement and from the college more generally, and that is that the Office of Career and Life Planning has now joined with the Office of Advancement, is now a fully enveloped functional area within advancement. And there's lots that we can say about this, and you know, from an alumni engagement point of view, I think it creates opportunities that perhaps we never really imagined before. Importantly, though, the Office of Career and Life Planning, their central purpose is to improve the lives of help to improve the lives of our current undergraduate students. And I think the opportunity for our students to interact with alumni, whether it's through just networking or internship opportunities, or even prospective postgraduate employment opportunities. The fact that CLP is now part of the advancement team, I think offers some really, really intriguing connections that perhaps they may have been there informally, and they may not have always been as you know, as organized as maybe we would like. But going forward, I think this is something that's really going to benefit our students. It's going to benefit our alumni, and it's only going to strengthen NEC in the wider world. And so it's my very great pleasure to introduce again Lindsay Coates, who's our Senior Associate Director of Career and Life Planning, and she'll offer a few reflections and comments and thoughts on what CLP is up to and how we will collaborate with the work that Lorella is doing and the work that the rest of our advancement team on a broader sense is doing at this point. So Lindsay, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Bill. And I just wanted to say hi to everybody. And yes, I'm Lindsay Coates, and I've been working at NHIA for, oh gosh, since 2010. And so I'm really excited to be a part of the NEC team and also advancement. You know, I think all of us probably remember with a bit of trepidation, you know, that move from graduating to what is my next step going to be? And, you know, I think it's now more than ever in these changing times, I think it's important to have that a little bit of safety and security and that mentorship opportunity between people who have been there before and been there and done that. And so I think being a part now more than ever with advancement, there's, like Bill said, you know, there's a tremendous opportunity for engagement. And I think this really helps to move students from that position of a little bit of nervousness and to be mentored by alumni. And I think going forward, there's huge potential to really help them to kind of carve their own path. Sometimes that pathway is super clear with, I like to say, like an international superhighway. You know, it's well lined and well lit, and sometimes it seems a little foggy, you know, like the path less traveled. And we really need to have a few kind of lights or a guide to kind of take us to that next step. So that's sort of the way I would hope alumni would engage with us, is to be that light post. But also, just like we help students, we are committed to helping alumni. You know, we meet alumni who may be switching positions, would love just like another kind of chat, or, you know, would like to find some other people in their moving to a new place or a change in their career. And so we're committed to helping alumni as well. So you know, our success and our alumni success and our student success, that's really our top priority. And we just really look forward to engaging with alumni in new ways. And we, especially with these engaging times, we're up to date and trying to get the most pertinent and relevant information possible to our alumni and students in terms of resources and opportunities. And we're really trying, we see ourselves at the position in kind of the intersection between students, alumni, but also companies and organizations. And these connections are so important, and trying to facilitate them has been a challenge, as you're saying, you know, to just keep these and maintain these connections. But we now have a new tool called Handshake. I don't know if anybody has experienced or used that in their own companies. But it's really put NEC on the cutting edge of this sort of, it's a fully functional, and I feel like I always sound like a Pollyanna when I talk about it because I'm so excited. It's like a thousand birthdays for career and life planning. But we'll be able to, our students and alumni will now have access to thousands of companies at their fingertips, as well as the ability to register for events, make appointments. It couldn't be easier. now, as of now, alumni are able to post opportunities directly to Handshake. And by January 1st, we'll be rolling out Handshake to all alumni for searching as well. So a really, really exciting game changer for our students. But thank you. That's any questions?
Lindsay, I think you wowed them. Well, I don't want to put too fine a point on this, but this product, this platform is the word I was trying to think of, for engaging our students and our alumni and prospective employers is a very, very powerful tool. In fact, I think we're just frankly scratching the surface of what its potential is, not only for our students, but more broadly for alumni. But a lot of colleges and universities are using this platform. It's web-based, obviously, but it encourages students to upload their resume and other important vital statistics and information. And it, again, just facilitates making connections between prospective employers or prospective internship opportunities with alumni and so on and so forth. And so you'll hear much more about both Handshake, but also more broadly, you'll hear much more about what the merger and the blending of CLP and advancement in the weeks and months to come. I anticipate that the rollout will be virtual or will be electronic, so you'll hear a lot of hear from us through email about how to access Handshake, and then I anticipate that we'll have some news to share in the spring issue of NEC Magazine and other platforms for just rolling this out more broadly to our alumni. But I can say just very briefly, and Lindsay, you may be able to tell this better than I, but you know, we started by rolling this out with companies and employers, and I think was it over 700 had already signed up.
712.
712 prospective employers are already in this product, in this platform. We have 145, is that right, students, something like that, undergraduate students?
71, actually, yeah.
171, whoop, yep. Whoop, it keeps growing. It was yesterday, yep. Felt like yesterday anyway, it was 145, but we continue to grow the number of current students, undergraduate students who are using this tool. So much more to come on that, and we are just so excited to welcome Lindsay. There are, by the way, 2 other staff members in CLP. Megan Brendow is our Assistant Director of Career and Life Planning, and Shannon Scaria is a career counselor in CLP. And the team of 3 folks, those 3 are really talented, really care about helping our students get to that next stage. And we really want to start with them as first-year students and so on and so forth. So so again, thank you, Lindsay. Welcome to Advancement. And as folks think about ways in which they can be helpful to our students, please, I encourage you to reach out to Lindsay or to anyone in Advancement. You can do it through alumni@nec.edu. So thank you. I guess it's the next agenda is really me, but I know that Michelle has already shared with you some of the successes that we enjoyed in the last fiscal year. As she alluded to, the Bridge to the Future campaign concluded at the end of June, and it was, by all accounts, a really successful effort. It was in total about 11 years, I think, is what we counted. We raised just about $42 million, and as Dr. Perkins alluded to, we had some really important initiatives that were realized. We built a couple of buildings, and we grew support for scholarships and financial aid. The Opportunity Fund, by the way, over the life of the campaign, raised over $5.6 million, and we raised about $8 million for scholarships and aid. And so all of that, to me, is a very tangible and promising symbol that philanthropy is alive and well at NEC. So we are not letting the grass grow under our feet. We're looking ahead to a couple of exciting initiatives, and again, Dr. Perkins already referred to it, but the Athletic Center renovation and expansion initiative is well underway. And we continue to try and raise money for the Putnam Center for the Performing Arts, which does have some a bit of work left to do, and some exciting naming opportunities for those of you who might be thinking about it. But as well, our goals for the coming year are ambitious. We want to raise $675,000 for the Opportunity Fund. We have other priorities, aside from capital giving. We intend to launch a fairly ambitious and aggressive effort to raise awareness for plan giving, which legacy gifts is what we call it here. And you'll be hearing more from us on that in the coming days and weeks and months ahead. But again, philanthropy is alive and well. One of the priorities for us is also to grow our alumni participation rate. And I know that's been something that, Lou, we've talked about, I think, in lots of meetings before. And in the short time I've been here, I think that maybe I've heard a lot about alumni giving and alumni participation. That's one area in which this group in particular can be helpful to us, and all alumni can be helpful to us. Gifts of all sizes help. And we would be grateful for all of our alumni essentially voting with their wallet. Do I have that right, Lou?
You do. And we really want to get to the point where everybody feels counted. And so the idea of how important it is, like if we just get the person that says, look, I'm not giving $100, I'm not giving $50, fine, give us $1. The participation of bringing that percentage up will have such an impact on this school and this program that you really can't measure it right now. By one gift, if I could get 20 new people for they gave $1 a piece, would have such an impact on this program. That word is getting out. We were talking to some people, and they were finally understanding. But having somebody sit down at the computer, take 3 minutes, and type in the credit card, it seems to be. I think I could build, another Panama Canal for us.
Well, you know what? You're exactly right, and I'll put a finer point on that. The strength of an institution, a lot of times, is measured by alumni participation or alumni giving. U.S. News and World Report is probably the best example that I can think of. They use that as a factor when they determine college rankings. And unfortunately, NEC's alumni giving rate doesn't offer a boost in that regard. But there's huge opportunity, and Lou's exactly right. You don't need to make an enormous gift to make a difference. Gifts of all sizes will have an impact. And so to the extent that folks are able and willing, we welcome your support at every level that helps NEC get stronger, certainly within the community of colleges and universities, but also, it's a pride point for our alumni and our friends and our parents. So please do, if as circumstances allow, we welcome your thoughtful and proportionate participation. So that's it for me. And so, Lorella, I will turn it over to you. Perhaps we can take questions to the extent that there are any. And if we are, if we don't have any, then I'll let you lead us out.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for either Lindsay, myself, or Bill?
Well, actually, I do, Lorella. Nice seeing the group. Louis, what if you had to try to put the top 1, 2, maybe 3 things of why our participation is down, regardless of the dollar number, like you talked about, getting just a percentage of participation? Have you got something in your mind that has stopped us from hitting those higher percentages, or is it still something that it's hard to put a finger on it? Obviously, we're in a little bit different scenario at the moment, but what is it that you think we could do and those that do participate can do to help those who don't to bring up that participation level?
It's I thought I had every time we think about it, because I didn't want to be on the side of the fundraising. I wanted to be the side to get the alumni involved, so that when Bill would go do his job, it'd be like, this is a slam dunk. People are back involved with the school. People care about the school. So I literally walk away when I talk to people that they're ready to participate, and then I'm just surprised when push comes to shove, they're not pulling the trigger. So I think we should be way ahead of where we are now, and I'm dumbfounded. But I thought we were getting headway until the pandemic hit us. So to answer your question, I don't know. I'm trying to hit it with positive wherever I go. I still run into people from the 80s and 90s that are bitter about certain things, but they just don't know. They don't even know that there was a Putnam Center coming up. They haven't kept on the emails. They're not even engaged. So without that, we're going straight up the hill. So that's coming back, and with the Office of Advancement being put together, and it's being in the center of town, and I wish to say it's a sprint, but it's a marathon at best. And without this pandemic, I think we would have been in better shape than we are right now. And talking to Lorella today, she has some really good ideas. Working with the other advancement people and the alumni here that want to get involved. That maybe there's more that we can do, but I wish I had the magic pill or knew exactly what to say. I thought it would be easier by this time.
Yeah, I got to admit, I'm frankly disappointed with my fellow alumni from my set, and I think if we were standing around a keg, the older people, you said, "Hey, listen, I need $25." They'd reach into their pocket and grab $25. You send them an email that says, "Hey, listen, I saw you at the golf tournament and you said you'd give me $50. Here's how you give me $50." And they go, lockjaw or something happens, or alligator arms show up and they can't find their wallet or something like that. So it's an interesting dilemma. And if you ever just want to spitball with some ideas, or I'm sure you beat your head against the wall, I'll be more than willing to give you a hand, because it kind of is it really bothers me that we can't get the participation number up. I don't care. I'm with you. If it's $1, $5, $10, doesn't make any difference. It just is to me, it's a disappointing reflection on the number of people that we know,
right, as
alumni, that really had a really positive experience, and perhaps they just don't know where this whole school program's gone, and the ability of trying to get face-to-face learning going, and the effort that Michelle and her entire team has done, and different things like that it's really is, as you can see, it's kind of disappointing on the turnout on the virtual call, right? I mean, I don't know whether we go rent a camper and put plexiglass in there, Louis, or you and I drive up and down the East Coast. I'm not sure what the answer is.
Yeah. That's money well spent, Clark.
Road trip, I'm all for. It's and even the registration does not indicate the registration shows there should have been way more people on this call.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
That's the disconnect, and it's frustrating. But I don't think I'm in for the fight. I got nowhere to go, and I like seeing it. And the school gave a lot to me, and the other people, alumni here, and others. But I just, you try to make it easier, and the easier you get, the less they get involved. It's like I don't understand.
Yeah, well, and I think you're right. I mean, the school provided a great opportunity for. I'm speaking for myself, so I won't characterize everybody, but I know everybody that was around me. I mean, it was an opportunity where I didn't have a lot of options, right? And then it was exactly. And Michelle has kept this, and her whole team has kept it up. As a trustee, I see this, but it is a place where you can really make something of yourself if you're in a tough spot, and it's the effort you put in. You will get rewarded out of this school. They want you to succeed incredibly well, and for not to keep that tradition alive through, as I said, $10, it's hard to believe. So we'll figure it out. I mean, if we're COVID free, let's go rent the RV. We'll drive from here to Florida.
I'm in.
I'll be the designated driver.
Well, that makes my life a lot easier.
There you go.
Both of ours. Thank you.
We did just get a question from Vicky, who's on the call. Thank you for that. And Lorella, looks like you just already answered it. You can visit nec.edu to make an online gift, but I think, Lorella, you might even have provided the actual link. You did, /give. So, and And by the way, just, back to COVID for a second, if you want regular updates on what's happening at the college, visit nec.edu. There's a big red button that says COVID-19 on it. Everything from going back to March all the way to where we are today. And I think you can even get the number of current cases and that kind of up-to-date information. But a lot of what we sent out to alumni and friends and to our community gets posted on our website. So it's a very easy, hopefully, way for all of you to stay updated with what's happening specifically with COVID. And thank you. I appreciate the conversation, Lou and Clark. Great question, and we would love to continue to use this body of people to continue to think creatively about how we do a better job of pulling our alumni close to us and keeping them close. And certainly that involves philanthropy, but it's so much more than that as well.
Thank you, Bill. That was good.
Lorella, are we? Take us in.
Any other questions? No? Okay. Well, we'll get this wrapped up today, but I appreciate everyone for coming and logging in. I'm sure we'll be sharing out the recording to everyone afterwards, so there'll be many more people who will get to see this. But I do appreciate you taking the time tonight to join us and hear our updates. And again, if you have any questions or have any other or want to join us in any of our initiatives, please feel free to reach out, alumni@nec.edu, and we will be in touch.
What's the call right behind this one, Lorella?
Tonight, there is no other call.
Okay.
Tomorrow, yep, we have quite a few other events happening tomorrow, Friday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week.
Okay, great.
Link in the chat also for the Fall Festival schedule as well.
Yeah, I think, Clark, you're referring to the Alumni Association Awards
Yes.
ceremony, the program, and we moved that from this Wednesday to next Wednesday
Oh, okay.
To accommodate our awardees. And so that will be next Wednesday, the 14th at 6 p.m. The Golden Pilgrim celebration is tomorrow, and then we have a couple of specific affinity reunions on Friday, Arundel, and what's the other one? Is it NHIA on Friday?
Any idea how many people signed up for the Arundel reunion?
Arundel, I think there's about 15 or so. I don't know off the top of my head, somewhere around there.
Great. All right.
Well, again, thank you all for joining us. It's great to see many of you virtually, and we hope that we'll see you in person again very soon. In the meantime, please stay safe and stay connected to one another. That's important.
Thank you very much.
Good night,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night.
Everyone.
Good night.